Nash equilibrium. And that is true, not just with this mechanism. It's a generally not thing, like we may never.
Is your approach more likely to reach Nash equilibrium than VCG, or some equilibrium than what you're comparing, or less likely? So that's what I mean. I'm just asking basically.
Okay.
I agree that everything has the same problem. I understand, but
I don't have a proof to say either way, which is more likely or less likely. I would say maybe equally likely, or even intuitively, I don't see a reason.
How would you say if somebody asks you to go and basically show that your system have a real world utility in the sense that reaching Nash equilibrium? How would you do that?
I mean, only the accepted way for probably to do that is to try it and test it in real search engines. To get some traffic and try it and test it. That is what we can do. And reaching this Nash equilibrium is not just reaching whether it will really reach the Nash equilibrium is not or not. It's a question which is there across the game theory, if I understand correctly, because they say like many of them prove the Nash equilibrium, existence of the Gaussian Nash equilibrium, but it's still an open question whether you really would actually reach the Nash equilibrium or not. And if you have a dominant strategy equilibrium like VCG, you can, it's clear, you will reach there. But here, in these kinds of mechanisms, including the current GSP and so many other games, it's more or less an open question. And when you design a mechanism, we leave it open, saying that okay, this is a game design issue, not really a search engine plays some mechanisms to lead users generally to a Nash equilibrium. So
this came up in the proposal as well, because your intuitive characterization of Nash equilibria is not right. It's not best response. It's max min. It's that if I change, other people won't stab me in the back and cut out my liver because I was greedy, right? You want to have the auction mechanism such that I can be a greedy player and get to a Nash place. But if I compute my strategy based upon local hill climbing improvements, I may be like, oh, I'll bid this because that'll be great for me. And then as soon as you do that, everyone turns around and robs you blind, right? So Nash equilibrium actually requires that rational step of, oh, I can't do that because I will be punished for it.
The point is well taken.
This thing about whether you can actually can you reach a Nash equilibria, is you need this simpler setting of where you can make these local improvements to move, and that kind of equilibria is an equilibria in the physics sense of small perturbations. You'll end up falling back into the equilibria. Nash equilibria are not equilibria; they're not stable at all. Usually, it's a very different kind of thing that is an equilibria which you will actually move to smoothly, and it requires a different proof that you'll go to it.
It's more or less a game design issue, and it's a prevalent problem across the game theory. And if somebody solves it, yeah. I mean, I asked some of the experts in game theory on that. I said, not just that, people like Myers and things. People ask who are actually tycoons here, like Nobel winners. They say like they are also bothered about these issues. And if there's no clear-cut answer, we just prove the existence of a Nash equilibrium and leave the rest to the game design rather than the mechanism design. Like motivating the user to build according to this.
But you are game design, right? You are ranking.
Game design in the sense like we are not motivating.
You are doing it by making ranking decisions. You are doing game design yourself, right? So you cannot just say this guy needs to do game design. So that was exactly my question, because you have a ranking approach which is a game design.
Yeah, but by what I mean is like you can do additional things like suggesting phrases and say that okay, this is probably recommended. No, I'm not really recommending any bits or any of those things to those things. Search engines can probably do computing on a global mechanisms, but
I understand. We can do that with bells and whistles, but without all bells and whistles, what happens? Where are you? Right? So that's the question. Because you have a game that you designed based on your ranking strategy. My question was, you come back to exactly, is the information that you give, that you make available, right, is to the players, in this case, maybe less precise, okay, for them to reach to a to equilibrium, right, than some other ranking approaches. That was basically all I was asking.
Yeah, means if there are additional parameters, so the search space might be larger. It might be the case that it is harder to reach the equilibrium. But yeah, whether it reaches the equilibrium, that's I don't really have a.
I mean, I'm sort of wondering why you don't do some synthetic experiments here. I mean,
Or whether it reaches.
I mean, sure, it won't be real data, there won't be real money flying around, but why not show with the simpler ranking mechanism, bidders can find their optimal bids in 3 iterations. Using this, it takes 7 iterations in practice on synthetic data.
Have some simulation experience if you design it really carefully, but unless it is on the reactive class, again there will be questions.
I mean, your first half had synthetic experiments. Why is it so much more awful to do synthetic experiments here?
But theory community doesn't really care about the synthetic experiments. And then submission.
Okay, so these people care about money, and so they reject synthetic experiments.
So there are 2 things. If you send it up, it's a different thing. If it's easy, there's a different thing. Yes, I understand, but all I wanted to say is that this is not just specific questions in this proposal or this my problem, but it's a problem across the board in the game theory community. There's similar problems. I'm not even showing that this is the only Nash equilibrium. There are other Nash equilibrium also. Multiple Nash equilibrium is an open question again. How do you prove that? Well, there are no other answers. So some mechanisms are really nice governance strategy equilibriums, like BCG, but it doesn't matter. Profit for BCG is less than GSP or even this, so people won't use it. So it's a big area for itself. Any other questions?
Are there any? It is less if you reach it. In BCG you reach it, right? In your case, the profit is at some level, right? You tell me that there is a profit at an equilibrium, but you are not telling me whether I've reached it or not. So you need to be careful about the significance in a real world, right? So you tell that there is an equilibrium, this is the profit that you would have if you reach it, but you are not showing me that I will reach it there. BCG shows me the profit that I will reach. It is maybe lower, but maybe it is in practice higher than your sort of.
It could be opposite. It could be easier to reach your optimal.
That's all. What I'm saying that I don't know. So that's all I'm saying. So
Yeah,
be careful about your statement. That's all I'm saying.
So I understand. Your point that I should be careful in claiming that it is higher profit. I completely accept that. The only thing as a result I prove is these 2 results, and these things are proved. That is based on the different claims I'm making.
And also, I think isn't it true that the current practice is already not BCG?
No, current practice is not BCG.
Yeah.
It's GSP.
So basically, I think that part is.
And there is one more thing. GSP is the entire auction mechanism. It's a special case of this proposed auction mechanism. So that is one more intuitive things to try this. I'm showing all those things in the paper. So, okay, I'm done with the technical parts here. Just a glimpse of why this research is really important for the industry or humanity as such. So, one significant trend is towards the shift towards the online retail. So even the retail giants like Walmart is currently shifting from the shopping carts to the shopping carts which you pull to the online shopping cart. So there's a huge shift in the direction of the online retail. So the things like source rank, which deals with the ranking problems and integration, is likely might get important in the future. Another trend is the big data analytics. I need not have to talk too much about that, but anyway, deeper is an instance of the big data, and the data is huge, many times that of the surface web, and many of the problems across the board, like real-time analytics, all those things comes with deeper. So this is an instance of that, and this is one of the report by McKinsey, which is one of the most respected consultant institute. They say like that, okay, it's going to be big in the future. So in that way also, in terms of jobs and contributions, it's going to be hot, might be hot in the future. Other is data trustworthiness. The open data is the base of today. If you consider Facebook or blogs or this thing, or the web databases. All of these are open data, so the trust considerations in the open data is like parameter. This one of the recent articles in New York Times saying Twitter had similar problems. These another instance of the open data. And this is on the second part of the computational replacements. In terms of the jobs, this is one of the recent New York Times articles saying skills are really scarce there. Advertising companies spread out digital talent gap, specifically talking about mathematical, quantitative, and technical skills. So this is an important thing, and which might become greater in the future. In terms of the revenue growth, this is the predictions by the eMarketer. So what it says is the red is our online advertisement spending, and gray is on print media. Print media is slightly decreasing or at best remaining flat, but online advertisement spending is projected to be grow. This is in billions actually in US market in future. So it may become much more important in the future. And another thing is social ads. In spite of the nearly 1 billion users, the Facebook's revenue is around 3.5 billion. That is 10% of that is Google. So the survivability of maybe the survivability of the social media itself would depend on the revenue growth from the advertisement, especially social ads. When you consider the social ads, there are much more things to consider, like which influences between the use case, between use ads and so on. That might be a really good research area to pursue. Okay, now I will give a glimpse of the related publications. SourceRank had 3 publications. One is a full paper on 2011 WWW, and a system demonstration factor has been accepted as a demonstration in the same conference, same year, and it got a Best Poster award in 2010. And agreement-based source selection, that is TSR I mentioned, that is in accepted command same conference, 16% and 6% acceptance ratio or so. And assessing relevance, the entire thing, the first part of my talk is complete. The entire work is accepted with minor revisions in ICM transactions on the web. Ranking data, so this 6th publication, ranking is considered trust and relevance. This I am doing in collaboration with Srijit, who is under master's student. This is a workshop paper is out already. We started a few months back and research is still going on. The workshop paper on that is a similar issues for Twitter, and we got a couple of Google research grants on that, and it's appeared on the Google research blog also, the SourceRank work. Consider coming to the computational advertisement part, the real-time profit maximization on the guaranteed deals. This is not part of my thesis, but I did this work as a summer internship in Yahoo Labs. That is accepted as a CACM paper, CACM 12 paper, and patent pending on that. And optimal ranking for profit maximization, that is a WDB 2008 paper, and a complete paper is I'm almost done with that, and I'll be submitting to TOB in a week or so. And Yahoo Research in 2009 recognized the first part, the ranking part, with the Key Scientific Challenge Award on computational advertisement. I just give a quick glimpse of some of the work which is not part of my thesis. This is the tweet ranking work I'm talking about, which I'm doing it with Srijit. So again, the problem is to rank the tweets considering the trustworthiness. So we model the tweets as a 3-layer graph. The middle layer is the tweet layer, the left layer is the user layer, and the right layer is the web. So we have the tiny URLs from the user tweets to the web, and we have who follows who links and who tweeted what links, and we are planning to do a complete ranking, tweet ranking, consensus to trust and relevance based on that. So currently we are working only on the middle layer, that is the tweet layer, and considering the agreement between the tweet, we formulated the rank, and the initial results looks good. And our guy, green is the MDCG and red is the precision of our guy. We are comparing it with the FTF-IDF based ranking, and even trust is also showing improvement. This is a workshop paper at this point. We just started a few months back. And this is another work I did in the Yahoo Labs last year. So if you consider the Groupon ads, we have expiration time for these deals, and we need a minimum registration. When we consider these two factors, the optimal bidding, what is the optimal bidding strategy for these kinds of ads is not currently we don't know what is the optimal bidding strategy, bid amounts for these ads. So my work was to do this optimal, find out the optimal bidding and formulate a realistic strategy. Like these are online problems, so your response time should be really fast. So realistic optimization of the bids. So that is being accepted in CAKM. This is my summer internship work, not part of my thesis, but continuing research. So a few events after my thesis proposal. So the ranking, the deep web results that is performed after this. Then extended source rank to topic specific source rank, and ranking tweets considering trust and relevance. These three pieces are done after the proposal defense. And odd actions based on the auction part is completely after the proposal defense. And optimal bidding for guaranteed deal, which I just mentioned regarding the Groupon ads, that is performed for the as a summer internship. And finally, I accepted an offer as a data scientist operational research in Groupon, and will possibly be joining next week. And I come to the final slides to consolidate the contribution, ranking of the deeper part, source rank, collision detection, topic specific source rank, assigning ranking results are the contributions there, ranking of the ads, optimal ranking and generalization, auction mechanism, and comparison with BCG. And the overall message is that ranking is the lifeblood of the web, content ranking makes it accessible, and ad ranking finances it. And my thesis combines these two, contains both these aspects. And thank you all for attending my talk. Ian and hi.
No, we're going to connect. Okay, so the presentation part is over. The floor is open for questions from the audience first. If there are any additional questions.
Well, I love game theory, and there on one of your slides you just had NV3 equilibria
Hi.
there, with not a term that I saw before. What does that mean? That's a slide back or two.
It's not really NV3. It actually might be a typo there, but it's an equilibrium. NV3 I can discuss you offline probably what is NV3 it's a definition.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Anand. Yeah, you need. Okay, go ahead.
Very good talk. I enjoy it. I just have a few minor questions.
Sure, Anand, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Sure, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, so on the first part, one of my questions is, can you handle the case of long tail queries? If I have a query and the system only finds a few obscure data sources that contain the answer to the query because the query is a long tail query.
That's true.
It would be very important to know the trustworthiness of those few obscure data sources. But it seems like the e-method would have a problem handling those.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you that if it is like, for example, somebody is searching on the ASU faculty database or a piece of information which has to be retrieved from the ASU faculty database. We don't have redundant sources in those kinds of the queries or those kinds of data. In that way, there might be a little limited application of the method. In those kinds of cases, there might be limited applications of this particular method. But I would say that the kind of the problem, the trustworthiness and the patent search and trustworthiness and importance problems are more significant for the kind of searches where there are large number of possibilities like movies, popular movies. If you just have one movie matching the title, you really do not have the one movie title which is matching to the query. You really don't have the problem of selecting from the multiple results, and your life is somewhat simpler there. But yes, I take your point that I agree to your point that if you do not have the redundant sources with the and many of the queries on these redundant of these obscure sources might be at the tail end of the long tail. This method may not be applicable, and I just wanted to add that these problems I am pointing out might be less severe in those kind of cases.
Okay. My other question is, why would you be experimenting with Google Base? Because one can argue that Google Base is really not that popular these days. In fact, I'm surprised that Google Base is still around. So it could very well be the case that the ranking method that they use there is not a pretty good ranking method for you to compare with.
Means Google Base API is shut down now, but we were comparing with the other methods like query anti-coverage. This is one more comparison to do, and when we started, especially when we started this, when we started the research, Google Base was still up and running and very active. Currently, yes, it is true, but this major part of this experiment has been done a couple of years back. So at that time, it was a really active system, and Google was still pushing it. So they gave up kind of later. So, and it's just one extra comparison in addition to the research methods. So I take your point that okay, currently Google Base is not particularly popular.
Okay, I don't have any more questions.
Okay, thanks and hi.
Other questions? Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, done for the public. So thank you again for coming.